Good morning everybody, and we have arrived at Dartmoor National Park and it is very nice weather this morning. We've just arrived at Postbridge and we're on our way to find a clapper bridge, which is an old type of bridge that they used to build, and then we're going to go for a bit of a walk.
So we're actually following the History Hunters Trail. That's one of the walks that's signposted around here, and we've come to the first point, which is an ancient enclosed settlement, and it's surrounded by all of these stones around here. All of those. And yeah, we've just taken a drone up, had a little fly to see it from the air because there's not much left of it, but there is loads of stones just dotted all the way around, and it's quite a big area, so it would have been quite a big encampment. And we're going to move on to the next point now and continue on the trail.
Currently I'm on one of the ancient stones, and a lot of them have kind of been overtaken by grass and moorland, but I think this is one of the biggest ones we've come across so far, and you can see them all dotted around all over.
So we've just come across this stone circle, and it's called apparently I think it's called a cairn circle and a cyst. My understanding of a cyst is that it's a growth on your body, a lump or whatever, but here it's almost like a sacrificial altar. So I think Hannah's doing a quick Google to try to find out what it is, because we don't have any idea, but it looks pretty cool. So apparently a cairn is 14 stones in an egg-shaped pattern, and the cyst is the box thing in the middle, and apparently there's quite a few around here, but this one looks pretty cool. But we're still not really sure what it's for.
Where they place their dead. It's a burial chamber, I think. So they would, it's guess like a big tombstone, but made of stones, or what do you call it, like a big coffin, but it's out in nature. So, and there's lots of these stone walls as well, or stone lines, whatever you call it. So yeah, we're learning a lot of history here.
Okay, so we can confirm that a cyst is a burial ground, a burial site in like a stone box from the Bronze Age. So pretty old and pretty cool.
And that one's got an opening in it, so I think they've stoked that one.
Yeah, the ghosts have got out. Apparently it's supposed to be quite haunted up here, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, it has got quite an eerie feeling to it. Like the other burial bit that we were at, there was like a tree, and then the stone circle and like these drapey bits off the trees, and yeah, apparently it's inspired a lot of writers here as well.
Well, Hound of the Baskerville.
Yeah,
Hounds,
so Sherlock Holmes. Even is it J.R. Tolkien as well? Was inspired to write some of his books from Dartmoor. So you can see why, because there is a very mysterious feeling, and the landscape is just quite.
You can imagine. On a misty morning or something like that, that's where like Hound of the Baskerville would have been, where it's all like the low-hanging fog and stuff. Mm-hmm. It would be pretty creepy around here. So luckily we've got nice weather this week, so we're not too freaked out.
Yeah, and we've got each other.
So since we came across that burial site, the weather's dramatically changed, and it's got a really cold chill in the air now, and Hannah was just telling me about a burial site where there's always fresh flowers placed on the grave, and nobody's ever seen who places the flowers there. I reckon that'd be an easy one to bust. Just camp out 24/7, hide in the bush somewhere, and you've got to find who did it.
Nah, I'm alright. I'm good, thanks. I'm already feeling creeped out, and a crow just made me jump. I'm not very good at watching horror movies or anything to talk about creepy stuff.
Well, the wind's picking up. It wasn't supposed to be windy at all this week, so maybe it is haunted around here. We've just come across these trees that have fallen over, probably in a storm or something, but there's ones where it was where the roots all get ripped up, and this one's actually got like rocks and boulders caught in all the soil. So the amount of effort and force it must have been when it pulled this over is pretty crazy.
I'll just dwarf it. How big it is.
Okay, so we have finished the trail now. We're going to head back to the river and have some lunch that Hannah's made for us. So excited for that because getting pretty hungry now.
Yeah, got an appetite.
Yeah, the sun's going back out now, so hopefully that spooky moment's over. And we're just going to enjoy
get out of the forest.
A nice little bit of lunch down by the river in the sun. Okay, so we've just had lunch overlooking the Clapper Bridge, and I think the plan now is to drive up to another car park in the woods where we might be able to go for a bit of a wild swim. It's gone a bit grey, so whether we're going to be brave enough to get into the water, who knows, but we'll go find out.
Let's go explore.
Yep. So we've just driven up to Bellever Forest after lunch, and there's a nice little car park, and the river is the River Dart, and it's really beautiful the way it's coming across here, and it looks like a pretty cool spot for wild swimming. But how are you feeling about going in?
Maybe we'll just have a little walk around and see if we but it is very pretty, like it's got trees just lining the river. I think it's the East River Dart here, and you've just got like pine trees, moorland, very pretty.
It's a little bit creepy down here. There's like this stuff that floats in the trees. And it's yeah, I'll show you now. It's all just like this stuff that gets caught in the trees, and Hannah gets creeped out by it, but obviously there's nothing actually happening. It's just all the myths and legends about Dartmoor and how spooky and creepy it is. So we're saying how the things on the trees looks like hair. Hannah was saying it looks like sheep's wool.
Yeah, you can see it all behind you. It's
crazy. It's everywhere, and it looks really eerie, and it's really cool.
It's almost like, you know, in Halloween where people put that like spider web stuff in the trees or in like the windows. That's what it looks like as well.
But it must be just because it must get so damp and misty around here, especially over winter and stuff. And there must just be like moss that grows and then like dangles off, and it must be something like that. So yeah,
very atmospheric.
It's very cool looking. So we're actually walked through a trail now, and we're heading down to a part of the river that we think we might be able to go swimming in. We're not sure. There is a few closed footpaths because there's a disease going around at the moment with the wild ponies called the strangles. But the footpaths are saying they were closed until the 2nd of October, and it's now 10 days later. So we think we're okay walking through these footpaths, but we've noticed that there's no horses in the moorlands at the moment, but they're all in the paddocks because they've gathered them all together to try to keep an eye on them, we think, for the disease. So yeah, no wild ponies around at the moment. So we hope they don't.
And this path is really pretty, like very picturesque and very quiet. Like we've only just come across
one of a
some
couple
other walkers, and just very peaceful.
Yeah, it's beautiful around here. So we've just made it to our wild swimming location, and it's absolutely beautiful. There's no one here, which is really good because up the top there was quite a few people on the river. And yeah, there's actually stepping stones just here. We're just going to get changed over here, go put our stuff down, and then we're going to have a little bit of a swim, we think. And luckily the sun's just come out again because it was starting to feel a bit cold and maybe we weren't feeling quite so brave, but with the sun coming out now, maybe we'll go for a little bit of this. We'll see how far we get in. But it's probably absolutely freezing, so wish us luck.
Oh, it's really cold. Oh, and the rocks are very slippery.
So we've made it in, but it's not really deep enough to go in any deeper than just like wading in, and it is freezing. Like my feet have gone so numb already.
Yeah. I can't feel my legs. Oh, I thought it was brave.
Oh, it's really slippy on the rocks as well. Just careful on the rocks. once you get over how freezing it is, and my legs have gone numb now, I think Hannah's legs have gone numb as well, it's all right. But that's probably because we're just getting frostbite or something. But
it's because we were hot on the walk, and then maybe it was extremes.
Yeah.
Now our body's like gone from hot to really cold. But
what a beautiful
nice
location for it.
Oh yeah, look at this. Literally just come across another couple that walked across the stepping stones, and she just told us that last time she went over the stepping stones she like fell and gashed her knee, so she came to overcome her fear, which was pretty impressive. And a very, very pretty location. Yeah, sun's out again.
Yeah, look how warm it is now. It's so nice on skin. I feel like
Yeah.
just sitting on these stones and just chilling.
Oh, it's beautiful. You just need like a little dinghy and you can just go and just like tie it on the side. So relaxing.
Okay, so we've dried off now and we've got to head back up to the car park before it closes at 5. But yeah, that was really nice, beautiful spot, but we couldn't go in all the way because it's too shallow. And there is a few other wild swimming spots that we might try find on this trip, and I think there's a few waterfalls we want to go see as well. So yeah, we're just going to head back up to the car now. The sun's out, so we're warm, nice and dry. Our feet are starting to thaw out a little bit better now. And Hannah's got the snacks out, I think. And yeah, we're just going to go back to the car and to the van, get the cats, and start to head back into the moors and then back to our campsite later this evening. So when we were walking in the river, Hannah just said to me, she's like, I swear when we were in the river I could hear voices and stuff. I was like, yeah, because there's a house right next to the river. So I think we're starting to get a bit paranoid because we've been telling ourselves all the creepy stories of Dartmoor, but it's not that bad, it's beautiful and we're loving it so far. So we've just stopped in this beautiful part, this little car parking space on the way back to the campsite, and we decided to get Tia and Skye out for a nice little sunset walk, and they're both having a great time. Well, Skye's a little bit more nervous, but Tia, star of the class she is, she's just so good at walking on her lead and harness now.
Skye's eating all the grass. I think she's not sure about all the smells of like sheep poo and stuff.
Yeah. There was 2 sheep when we first got here, and Tia was happy like walking after them and following them around, and they were like, what the heck is this? And Tia was like, come and be my friend. She was yeah, I think they're a bit big for her, but she was going for them. A bit ambitious.
Up, in. Go on, Skye. Go on. Good girl.
Good morning everybody, and welcome to another day in Dartmoor. It's another beautiful sunny day, and we are just, well, we just parked down there and we're making our way up to the top of Sharpie Tor, and we're going to go have a look, check it out, and I think we might come back here later for sunset as well.
Yeah, so we're just scouting it out to make sure if we do it at sunset we know how to get up and down.
It's pretty straightforward, it's just straight up the hill. So
yeah, well there is another one that I would really like to go to as well. It's called Bellever Tor, and you can see really nice views of one of the reservoirs. So that's the aim, if we can get to that one for sunset. But we're just, yeah, gonna go out and explore. And there's lots of cows as well, little baby calves.
Perfect day, perfect weather. So yeah, it's gonna be a good one. So we've just made it to the top of Sharpie Tor, is this one? Yeah, so we've just made it to the top of Sharpie Tor. It's very peaceful up here and very calm. And there's a few Dartmoor ponies just down there behind us. There's a reservoir just over there, and there's Leather Tor just over there, which we might hike to in a bit. we've made it to the top of Bellever Tor, and this one was really cool because it's a bit more of a scramble to get to, and the views from up here are crazy and really pretty, and we're just been chilling up here. We'll probably go chill up here for a little bit longer, but maybe before finishing a bit of a walk and heading back down to the van, having some lunch, and then we're going to try see where else to explore today. But there's just so many spots around here that are just perfect, and with the calm, beautiful weather today, it's making us just feel really nice and relaxed. So yeah, maybe check in later again. Woo. So we've just made it across to Peak Hill where the ponies are, and this is actually the final tour we're going to walk to before heading back to the van and getting some lunch. But yeah, as I said, we didn't see any ponies yesterday, so it's nice to see a large amount of them. There's loads of them up here.
Obviously this is their favourite spot, and it's got like 360 views of the whole valley, and we can see the sea today as well.
Yeah, so pretty good morning so far. A couple of weeks ago, you may remember, we were in the New Forest, and we saw lots of ponies there. I didn't think you'd actually be able to tell the difference between the Dartmoor ponies and the New Forest ponies, but they're definitely different. You can see the differences. Like the Dartmoor ones they seem a bit more furry, and they definitely have shorter legs as well. So it's it's pretty cool seeing the differences, because I never really noticed or cared to pay attention to that sort of thing before. So you can definitely tell the difference between the different horses on the different parks around here. Just got back to the motorhome for some lunch. Go to check on the cats, make sure they're all okay, and probably just have a little bit of a chill session just to get some energy back, and then go explore some more. So we've just come back to the tour that we started the day off on, to come and watch sunset, and we've got it all to ourselves. There's no one else here. All the cars have left the car park. And the sun's just starting to set now, and it's looking amazing. The lights all lighting up with the golden colours of the sun. It's just starting to dip below the clouds. There's 3 ponies here who are just chilling out, and the wind has completely died down. I mean, it wasn't very windy today at all, but there's no wind whatsoever now, so it's very, very calm, very, very peaceful. And yeah, we're looking forward to watching sunset here.
We made it to the top, and look at this sunset. Ooh.
So we've just watched this lovely sunset from atop of this tour, and we're going to climb down now and go get some dinner. And so we'll catch you guys in the morning, because we're going to put all the cameras away to climb down the rocks so we don't fall and kill ourselves. So if you see us in the morning, we made it. Good morning, everybody. We survived our sunset hike back to the van last night and had a nice productive morning today, and now we're on a hike to a woodland which is called
Witsman Wood.
Witsman Wood.
Yeah.
And it's supposed to be the most haunted wood, isn't it?
Yeah, one of the most haunted places. Apparently it's where druids used to do all of their rituals, and apparently they still do them today. And you can find adders in the wood apparently as well.
Yeah, so we've been on the lookout for adders all year really, in the place we've been going. We haven't found any yet, so this is probably going to be our best chance of seeing an adder. The sun's out, so hopefully they're sunbathing to warm up. And yeah, got to go explore the haunted woods and try get out alive.
Yeah, we're doing like a circular route through the woods and then up a couple of tours as well. So yeah. Sun shining, it's going to be a good walk.
Yep.
It's very hot, so I had to take my jumper off, and we can see the woods just ahead of us. This walk in total is about 2 hours, I think, and it's about 5 miles. So I don't know how far we've walked so far. Do you know on your watch?
Almost 2 kilometres.
2 kilometres. So we are heading to the woods, and
I think we can see them now, don't we?
Yeah, I think it's straight ahead of us. and we're almost there, so we'll pick you up when we get there.
Okay, so we're approaching the woods now, and fingers crossed we find some adders. I'd be very excited if we found some.
Yeah, no pressure. You're going to be so disappointed if you don't see one.
It's like when we were in Canada, we went searching for bears and we didn't see any bears. So yeah, that was a bit disappointing, but fingers crossed.
You've got to use your snake whisperer techniques.
This woodland is so ancient that the trees are all like covered in moss. They're all like hunched over. All these boulders in here are covered in moss. It's almost like, what's the film that's Frozen where all the trolls come out? So I think it looks a bit like that in Frozen, where all the little trolls, they're all covered in moss and they look like boulders and they come up, it looks exactly like that. So far no snakes though.
Right, so I think we've come across a druid, maybe ritual area. There's like these circle patterns on the rocks here with like a star shape in the middle, which must be symbolic of something, I don't know. But yeah, there might be druids on their way tonight to do their ritual. Saw another one over there as well.
Unfortunately we didn't find any snakes in the woods, but the woods itself were really cool. We learnt that they're about 500 years old and it used to cover a much larger area, but only about 9 acres of it remains now. And the moss and the growth that is covering all the rocks and the trees, it just looks really mysterious and really cool place to come. So if you're in Dartmoor, we highly recommend to come and check this place out because it just feels very ancient and very mysterious. So we've just driven to Dartmeet to come and find a wild swimming location because the sun was so beautiful earlier and so warm, but it's actually cooled down a little bit now. We've driven all this way and
A bit late.
we're not sure if we're going to check it out yet or not, so we're going to go see what it's like and we might just go for a little paddle anyway.
Yeah, they're like pools I think, so it should be fairly deep. Whereas the one we went to the other day
Wasn't deep enough.
No, it wasn't deep enough, but the river here is massive. It's where both of the east and west, I think, meet. That's why it's called Dartmeet. So, very pretty.
Yeah, hopefully we're brave enough.
Very slippery. Ooh. Oh, I know. Okay, come on, come on. Bud, 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 I can't see anything. Let me out! Let me out! Jonny! Oh! Help! Oh! I really struggled getting in there. It's really cold. Like I've been into fairy pools in Scotland and that was cold. To be fair, I just jumped and got straight out. But that feels like, I can't even describe it. That was really hard getting in there. And the fact that it was quite deep and murky, I don't like deep water and I don't like it when I can't see the bottom. So when it's clear I can do it, but I did it.
Hannah's the brave one when it comes to cold water, so if she's saying it's freezing and she hates it, then I can't do it. I mean, I've done a few this year, but I don't like cold water at the best of times. But yeah, if Hannah's saying that it's really bad and needs to be wetsuits, then there's no chance of me going in. But also, remember to be safe around cold water because it can make you gasp and you can swallow the water and drown very quickly. So I stood on the side of the bank while Hannah tested it out just in case she did gasp or anything or go into shock, and I could easily get her out then. So always go in twos, make sure you're safe and don't do anything stupid. So close to going in.
We have just arrived at Brent Tor, and at the top of this tor there is a church, and it's called St Michael's Church, I think, and you can still get married there, and they run services every Sunday. So we're just going to walk up the tor now to the church, and we've already walked up a little way and there's panoramic views across to Dartmoor over there, and yeah, the rest of Devon, and I think Cornwall's over that way. And it's such a lovely evening. There's a hot air balloon in the sky, so I think it's going to be a nice sunset. So get to the top and show you up there. Here where we're just sitting on the rocks and watching the sunset, and we've got the church just behind us, so you can actually walk all the way up and walk around, which we've just done. And there's some really pretty trees, and yeah, we can see really far as well. It's quite a clear day, and I think the sun's going to pop behind the clouds in a minute, so we'll probably pop down and have some dinner. But very peaceful here, and you can hear like cows all around you. Good morning, everybody. So today we have had a bit more of a lazy morning, and we stayed near the church last night, got up this morning and there was just complete mist and fog everywhere. So we thought, oh, it'd be really cool to go and see what the church looks like as the sun was kind of breaking through, but we couldn't see it at all. It was just completely covered in fog. So we decided to carry on, and I really wanted to go to the pottery, which is basically straight in the middle of Dartmoor National Park, and on Google Maps it said it was open on Saturdays at 10:30, and we got there and apparently it's closed. It did say it on the website and I didn't think to look, and it's closed till next year. So yeah, a bit of a disappointing morning so far, but we decided to go on a walk this afternoon. We had lunch and we're off to Burrator Reservoir, and we're going to go for a nice little walk along there. And Jonny is in charge today of leading the hike. I've been doing most of the other hikes, so we are testing Jonny's map skills today, and we're currently going through this little path and finding our way to the woods, which will hopefully lead us to the reservoir. That's not a girl. He just said hello, girl. Thank you.
So we've just crossed the first dam, and we think it was built in 1895, and we've got one more dam to cross before we can turn back up and head along the bank back to where the van's parked, and we're about halfway round at the moment, and it's been one of our favourite walks so far.
Yeah, beautiful autumnal colours. We've been following this I think it's called a leat, is it? The little stream, and just been going through the woodlands. It's just been very pretty.
Yeah.
And this bit's all completely level, just going all the way around the reservoir. So nice and easy walk. We've stopped for snacks. Might stop for some more in a minute.
Yep. We're about 8 kilometres into our walk now, and we're about halfway round the other side of the reservoir to get back to the van. And yeah, it's been really nice. We're both a bit tired now. Looking forward to making some food when we get back and replenishing the storage. Got some bananas in the bag. Yeah. Just to give us that extra boost in a minute. But yeah, it's been really nice. Yeah. And yeah, we've just been so lucky with the weather this week. And yeah, gonna go head back to the van, do the rest of the walk now, and maybe relax for a little bit and then put some food on.
Yeah, we would recommend this walk for sure.
Yeah.
One of the top ones that we've done in Dartmoor.
12 kilometres into our hike now, and we've got about a kilometre before we get back to the van. And yeah, really hot now. It's been really lovely, a bit sweaty, but yeah, looking forward to getting back to the van, getting some food on and chilling, taking these boots off. But it's been a beautiful walk around the reservoir, and can't wait to just chill now. The van's just come into view, which is really good because it means it's still there, and won't be long now to get back and see if Tia and Skye are okay. And yeah, that's been a great walk. Really enjoyed today. The weather's been fantastic. It's just been a really nice day out, and this is probably our last full day in Dartmoor before we start heading back.
We hope you enjoyed following us around Dartmoor, and it's our last day today in the Bailey motorhome, so we're going to drop it off just now in Bristol, and we're going to be packing up and putting all of our stuff back into our van and heading back on the road. So hope you enjoyed this one, and we'll see you in the next one.